to speak to you. His full name, which is long. Good afternoon. Peter Poulakakos. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Commissioner. I wrote a couple of words that I would just like to read, and thank you very much for the opportunity to say a few words on the record on mine and my partner's behalf in regards to our restaurant project on Broome and Bowery. Some of you may know us and are familiar with this particular project, but I am taking the opportunity to clarify both my background and my track record in the restaurant business. My family's history in the restaurant business began with the journey of my father, Harry Poulakakos, to this country in 1956 from Greece. He was 17. He spoke no English and he had no roots here. In 1958, he started his career in hospitality at Oscar's Delmonico's in the financial district. He worked his way up from busboy to bartender to manager. In 1972, he and my mother saved up enough money to lease a space nearby in Hanover Square. He opened his first restaurant, Harry's at Hanover Square, that year. Harry's quickly rose to Wall Street stardom as a neighborhood place to be. My father became a well-known local restaurateur, famous equally for his establishment, Harry's at Hanover Square, as well as being a friend to the entire Wall Street community. In 1998, I opened my first restaurant, Bayards, with my parents in Lower Manhattan. Today we have more than 20 restaurants, a wine retail store, and 3 major projects underway with the city of New York. Throughout the beginning of our expansion, which began wholeheartedly in the early 2000s, we kept our roots in the neighborhood we called home, the financial district. In the wake of 9/11, we knew we had to think differently. Lower Manhattan, once only a neighborhood for commercial interests with no nightlife or real residential presence, would need to restructure. While corporations were busy moving their headquarters to Midtown, we worked hand in hand to revitalize Stone Street. We opened restaurants. We chose to build in a neighborhood where most people were leaving. We opened our pub, Ulysses Folk House, in 2003. We made the decision prior to opening Ulysses to stay open till 4 a.m., 365 days a year. Our neighbors thought we were crazy. There was no one downtown at that hour, and especially not on the weekends. We did not to spread a profit, but instead to show that like any other neighborhood in Manhattan, the financial district would have a local pub that was open every day of the year until last call. It was a gesture to say Lower Manhattan was in fact a neighborhood like any other, and it worked. Our neighbors quickly joined us, and now Stone Street is a hub for locals, for residents, for families, workers, and for tourists. Our close working relationship with the City of New York and the Downtown Alliance, the Lower Manhattan bid, allowed Stone Street to happen. We quickly became closely united with our work with the Alliance, so much that they asked me to become a board member, asked me to join their board of directors, first as a business owner and later as a property owner in Lower Manhattan. I sit on their board today. We now have 13 restaurants in Lower Manhattan. The City of New York believes in our work and our accomplishments, so much so that they have awarded us a 99-year lease for the Battery Maritime building, a treasured landmark that goes to Governor's Island, that is the ferry terminal for Governor's Island. And the opportunity also to develop Pier A, a landmark building along the waterfront in the Battery. Our family's expansion happened organically and was fueled by talented people I met along the way who joined our team. I worked with amazing pastry chef Eric Padusha through our restaurant Bayards, and knew that we can do more with his talents, and we did. Eric spearheads 10 of our pastry shops, known as Financier Patisserie, that spread throughout Manhattan. I met pizza chef Nick Angelis, who is famous in Forest Hills, Queens for his brick oven pies. We decided that the financial district could use a fresh pizza concept, and together we opened Adrian's Pizza Bar, named after my mom, and 3 outposts of Harry's Italian, named after my dad. Nick earns himself a spot on every top 10 list in the city and sometimes in national publications put out each year. Our sommelier from Bayards, Ivan Matonkin, now runs our wine bar, Vintry Wine and Whiskey. My best friend and high school classmate, Dave, a former accountant who is also an event planner on the side, is now a full-time operating partner with our overnight success bathtub gym. Our cocktail bar, the Dead Rabbit, is a project I'm particularly proud of, and the culture where it has become cool to have patrons wait in lines on the street corners, disrupting neighborhoods, and simply to keep up the veil of exclusivity, we designed an upscale venue that is one with its neighborhood, with an open-door policy. That very project just won World's Best Cocktail Bar in 2013, Best Cocktail Menu of 2013, and International Bartender of the Year, Jack McGarry, in the highest regarded award ceremony based out in New Orleans. We want to bring this success to the Bowery, and like the Dead Rabbit, we've assembled an amazingly talented team to do so. Our sommelier and now partner, Ivan McConkie, will be developing the wine list. We have a chef ready for the project that is highly experienced, who has received many accolades, including 3 stars from the New York Times as executive chef in his previous venue. Dave Ozanoff will be our full-time operator. We're a close-knit group, and key players rarely change. We want to make Pullman Bowery a restaurant destination that the community will be proud to talk about. We have successfully managed to become part of every neighborhood that we have had the privilege of opening in. Beyond our success in Lower Manhattan, we have worked hand in hand with the Grand Central Partnership in Midtown through our financier locations, and alongside the team at Rock Center with our Harry's Italian Pizza Parlor. When looking for the perfect location for our speakeasy, Bathtub Gin, we could have chosen to open in the Meatpacking District. Instead, we chose Chelsea, knowing it was the forefront of food and cocktail culture. We immediately made ourselves good neighbors, and with our work, we're recently recognized. During the National Night Out Against Crime, in front of the police department and local council people, we were given an award for our work in support of the residences of the Fulton Housing Projects. Here today we have Miguel Acevedo, president of the Fulton Housing Projects and a former Community Board 4 member, to speak on our behalf. We are restaurateurs, we are family-friendly, hospitality professionals, we are experienced workers. You'll only need to stop by for a pizza in Adrian's, a proper pint of Guinness in Ulysses, a steak at Harry's, a glass of wine at Vintry, a cocktail at the Dead Rabbit or Bathtub Gin, and finally a piece of pastry from Financier to know that we believe in our product, our commitment to service at great prices. Most importantly, under the inspiration of Harry, you will know that we are friends and that we are neighbors. I am standing here today to ask you to consider our application fairly on this basis. We have a track record of success and being good neighbors. We care deeply about each place within which we put down our roots. It is the attitude my father cultivated in Harry's, and one that I and my partners have worked diligently to continue. Just as you see us here today, you will see us on the street, in our establishment, and within your neighborhood. We intend to be a part of the community along the Bowery, and we ask only that you give us the proper allowances to make this a success. Thank you.
Since you mentioned Miguel, because he came down here on his own time, I'd like to let him speak.
Good afternoon. My name is Miguel Acevedo. I'm the Resident Association President at Robert Fulton Houses, which is a public housing development that